Hello, welcome to Colganology and another travel video. I'm off to London. I'm going to a private party to relaunch the Colony Room Club, which used to be Soho's famous den of London's Bohemians. I'm really rather looking forward to it. Do come and join me. So here we are. Here's Piccadilly Circus, of course. I spent 30 years working in London as a cop, and the first 10 years or so, a lot of it was spent around Soho and the West End, so I know this area like the back of my hand. And then I spent 10 years after I retired from the police working in London as a writer for TV, radio and books. So this is all very familiar, although I can't say I miss the crowds. Oh yes, back in the day, this was very busy. Lovely Shaftesbury Avenue, where all the theatres are. And everything off to the left, is Soho. The Windmill Theatre there with tables dancing, as it says. Paul Raymond's Revue Bar. Those were the days. You see, back in the pre-internet 80s, before all this pornography was online, you had to go to places like Soho to find it. So there were lots of theatres with live shows, peep shows, sort of near beer clubs and clip joints, and porn cinemas. And I used to police it all. And I used to thoroughly enjoy it. I mean, it was a great time to be a young man. I mean, living and working in central London, what could be better? And it also meant I got a very good relationship going with most of the private members clubs, you know, places like the Garrick and the Groucho and Blacks and Gerry's and Tricia's and all these places. But the most famous of all was the Colony. For 4 decades or more, the Colony Room was the kind of epicentre of Bohemian London. Set in the middle of Soho in Dean Street. I mean, it even got the nickname of Boho for a while because it was where all the cool dudes hang out. And if you look back over that sort of history, those 4 or 5 decades, the membership list is extraordinary. You know, it's people like Francis Bacon, the great artist. It's people like Lucian Freud, another great artist. It's David Bowie. But there's also actors, you know, there's people like Denham Elliott and Tom Baker. And if you're a fan of the TV series Toast of London, you'll know that his Colonial Club, where he often goes to moan about the state of the acting world, is based very much on a Colony, even down to the same lurid green paint on the walls. For many years, like I said, it was the place to be seen, and fights were frequent, disputes were frequent, bad behaviour was frequent, and during my time working as a cop in Soho, I would get the occasional call to the Colony Room because someone needed to be helped outside to a taxi, or possibly occasionally helped to the cells at Vine Street Police Station. But I got to know the establishment reasonably well, and then years later, after I'd retired from the police and I actually became an author myself, it's somewhere I went to celebrate when I got my first book deal. And by then the crowd had changed quite substantially because, you know, during the 90s, the young British artists, people like Damien Hirst and Tracey, Emin and people like that had actually become the big users of the Colony. And in fact, one of those YBAs, one of those young British artists, Darren Coffield, is the guy who's responsible for bringing it back. And Darren's the one who invited me along last night. Okay, that's just weird. That is just weird. This is the overflow from the party. It's a bit crazy downstairs. It was so busy there, in fact, that I only lasted for about an hour, and then myself and some friends went off around Soho. Well, it's been a pretty extraordinary evening. I've done basically a crawl of all the London Soho clubs. It's all been a little bit mad, but it's been a good night. So now heading home, and only slightly the worse for wear for drink. Hurrah! See you next time. Toodle pip.